Hi, this is Lara from KnotEnufKnitting. I'm going to show you how we're going to work the second clue of our Afghan. For those of you who are going to use a separate color for the middle of your Afghan versus the border. So I'm going to show you a simple trick that is used to keep the middle yarn connected solidly with the border yarn. So I knit, for this example, I knit a very basic sample. I have garter stitch for the border and stockinette for the middle. So the first thing you'll need to do is you will need two separate border yarns. So one here, and then we also need one here. So I would suggest using 2 balls of yarn. Okay, so for the first row, so our right side row, you will slip your first stitch as the pattern says knitwise, and then work across the border as the pattern indicates. Here I'm just doing a basic knit. Okay, so now we're at the middle section and we're switching yarn. So we have 2 working yarns here. So in order to make this work, we're going to take our border yarn, we're going to drape it or twist it over our middle yarn just like so. And then we'll work the first stitch, in my case it's a knit, and then we'll go back and we'll pull this border yarn snug, but not too tight, but just so the tension isn't too loose. Just give it a little bit of a pull. And then you will work across the middle section as the pattern indicates. And here I am doing a basic knit. So you'll work across until you get to the next border section. Okay, so one more stitch here. And now I'm at the border again. So we need to do the same thing we did with the other border and middle section, but this time we're going to drape our middle section yarn over our border yarn like so, or twist it, just so it's over top. And then work your first stitch in your border section. This is a knit. And then, like I said, go back, pull the middle working yarn so it's snug but not too tight. You kind of want the same tension as your other stitches. And then you will work your border to the end of the row, like so. Now the back, the wrong side, has worked very similar. So in the pattern for the Afghan, you will slip your stitch purlwise and you'll work across the border. Since I'm doing garter, I'm just doing basic knit. Okay, work your border till you get to the middle section again. We'll have to do the same twist or drape over the yarn. So take your middle working yarn and drape it over your border yarn like so. Bring it in front, work your first stitch. Again, pull your border yarn snug, but not too tight. And then actually I should have knit that. No, that's purl. Then we purl across the middle section. I do. And you will work your middle section as it indicates in the pattern. Work across all the way to the next border. Okay, so we're at the border, and the same thing. Looks like I get all tangled here. We will twist the border yarn over the middle working yarn, work your first stitch, pull the middle working yarn snug, not too tight, and work across to the end. So now if you look at the sample I knit, the middle yarn and the border yarn are fit pretty snug together. There's no holes there and there's no holes here. So the draping or twisting of yarns works very well. And if you look at the back, you will notice how between the 2 sections there's this little bit of a overlap of the yarns, and that's what does or makes the garments fit together nice and snug. And you will notice that when you work on your Afghan, it'll look the same, nice and snug between this middle section and the border section if you are using 2 separate colors. So good luck with clue 2.